What's up, y'all? It's your boy eBay Fight Predictions in the building, and I'll be breaking down Deiveson Figueiredo versus Brandon Moreno, the rematch, man. I could not wait for this fight. This is gonna be a phenomenal. Obviously, I love the main event, and I love Leon versus Nate, but this is the one fight. In terms of like, I know it's gonna deliver, or I hope by me saying that it doesn't jinx it, but like I know this is gonna deliver, bro. Like this gotta deliver. There's no way it can't. But this is a great fight, man. The first fight was phenomenal. It's crazy, man. The first fight, I gave like obviously I think I still have the breakdown on my channel. You guys can go check that out. But I gave Brandon his respect. Now I didn't give it in terms of my prediction. I did actually predict a submission for Deiveson, even though Brandon has phenomenal jiu-jitsu and grappling. I just thought the way he shoots in for double legs and the way he shoots in for almost like his inside trips and his body locks, like the way he does that, like he kind of leaves his head open for a guillotine. And just coming off that Alex Perez hype after what Deiveson did to him, I kind of fell into that trap. But I just saw so many people counting out Moreno like he didn't have a chance. Like I thought Moreno had a real chance. I thought he was the most legitimate threat to Deiveson. And I think I tweeted something out, and I before they before they actually fought, and I said something like I saw Moreno's face during the entrance, and he just looked like hyped, like had that face, that assassin baby face. But yeah, man, this is a great fight. But let's talk about the stats here. Deiveson Figueiredo, obviously the champion of the world, comes in with a record of 21-1. Is fighting out of Brazil, age 33, height of 5'8", and a reach of 68. Moreno is the #1 flyweight in the world. He's 18-5-2, 2 draws. Does fight out of Mexico, age 27, height of 5'7", and a reach of 70. One of the things that pop out to me is the reach. Moreno has the reach advantage, and that's something he was able to use in the first fight, and that's something you're going to really see in the second fight, that he has to use basically the jab. So that's something out of all the stats. Yeah, Moreno might be a little taller. It's the jab, it's the reach. So that's going to be really a big factor in this fight. I feel like in terms of strength, obviously, I feel like Deiveson is the stronger guy out of the two. But and he does look more physically imposing, but I think he is a real flyweight. Like I see so many people say, "Oh, he should be a bantamweight, this and that." I'm like, nah, I think this is his right weight class. But in terms of, if we look at notable wins for Brandon Moreno and what he's accomplished in this weight class, man, obviously he does have a loss on his record. He does have that loss to Alejandro Pantoja, and that's something I love about this matchup. They both have losses to opponents they have wins over. So like, for instance, Deiveson beat Pantoja, and Jussier Formiga did beat Deiveson Figueiredo, but Moreno beat Formiga. So that's what I love about this matchup. But in the Pantoja fight, when I looked at the Pantoja fight the first time when they were going to match up Brandon and Figueiredo, I kind of looked at it, like, it's probably going to look like this. Moreno's going to be really, really tough and get beat up and probably shoot for a dumb takedown in the Figueiredo fight for the first fight in my head and get submitted. That's what I thought. In this fight, basically, he kind of got lit up with the jab and, and the leg kicks. I think Pantoja had some smaller reach than him, but he went forward and he was just able to tag him up. And the problem with Brandon is that he circles a lot, and he's always finding himself against the cage, right? We saw in the Figueiredo fight that hurt him a lot. But in this fight is that he couldn't really use his reach and his length. He was getting caught up. If he moved his head, he would get chopped up in the legs. So, he's very durable, but sometimes he can be like an everlast punching bag. And Pantoja ended up walking away with the win, and he still has this win to this day. And it would be really interesting to see if they run. Actually, this was a rematch. Actually, Pantoja beat him twice. I actually forgot. Pantoja beat him on the Tough Show too. So this was a rematch. So it would be interesting, what this would look like maybe in a trilogy. You know, if they ever would do a trilogy or if they entertain it, you know, you never know. Things could get interesting if he does win this fight. Right after this, he gets cut, which was insanity, right? But this was in an era, like this weird era, right, where they were thinking about cutting the flyweights, man, which is crazy now looking back. Like, dude, like you're gonna cut this division because, like, I'm not gonna lie to you, watching these flyweight fights and then like let's say I do a film study for like heavyweights or middleweights, like even like those two divisions, I'll just say, I mean, it's just night and day. You see nothing but good technique. I mean, fast transitions, fast scrambles. I mean, everything fast and clean, and it looks nice. It's just something I kind of noticed, And it's crazy they cut this kid. This kid's super talented everywhere. Like, Moreno's a really, really good fighter. But he ended up fighting Mikel Perez in the LFA promotion. But he only fought him once. He did do some jiu-jitsu, combat jiu-jitsu fight nights. He did some of that. But he was only gone from the UFC for really maybe a year. I think a year, or you could say 6 months. But then he fights Askarov, and I mean, so this is considered a draw on his record, right? A draw. I watched this fight. I remember the first time I saw it, I was okay with the decision, right, at first. And I think I wasn't paying attention. I don't know why I was okay. I rewatched this. I'll give Askar his credit. He won the first round. He got a big takedown, a lot of control, right? And he got that first. I'm not taking nothing away from that first round. But in the second round, Brandon Moreno starts stuffing takedowns. He starts getting out of single legs. He shows his takedown defense in that area, right? Shows how good of a grappler he is, that he's stuffing takedowns from Askar Askarov. Then he drops Askar Askarov with a 1-2 head kick. He hurts him in the second round. So right, he starts stuffing takedowns, right? He got the head kick, right? That's a knockdown, right? You'd assume he won that round, right? So the third round comes, Brandon takes him down and then beats Askar Askarov in control time, and I was like, and then I see it was a draw. I thought it was a draw. I was like, whoa. First of all, I'm on some crack because I thought it was a close fight the first time, and it is a close fight if I score it 28-29, right, on scorecards, right? But like, there was a clear winner that day, and no disrespect to Askar, I think Askar is a legitimate threat, and I think he could potentially win the world title. No disrespect to the guy right there. He has the chance. We saw what he did to Joseph Benavidez, put a performance on him. But I'm just like, come on now, y'all. Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Like, y'all really going? I was shocked. They did this. And then Moreno, he fights Kai Kara France. And Kai Kara France actually had a lot of success in this fight. He was able to expose some holes. Again, Moreno is a little too durable for his own good, and he can get in this mode where he turns into a punching bag. I don't know why. He's I would call him a slow starter. I would say that's the best thing. I look at a lot of these fights, a lot of them, besides the Brandon Royval fight and the Jussier Formiga fight, he loses the first round a lot of times, right? So he's a bit of a slow starter. But in this fight, Kai Kara France had a lot of success with the two. He was shooting. It was more of a counter, right? He would just slip his head, basically, he'd slip his head away from the jab, or just slip his head in general and get his head out the way and throw that right. And he connected about 3 times. He connected, probably the third time he threw, he connected really good. He caught Brandon on the chin. I thought he won that round. But then I think those kind of punches woke up Brandon, was like, oh shit, I gotta turn this up. And he started turning it up. And the 1-2 head kicks. I mean, he just started really putting it on Kai Kara France in that second round. And in the third round, oh my God, he just totally went thug mode on him. And dude, he was a gangster in that third round. Just like this, if you go watch the fight, he's just pumping, and he's just like staring him down, walking him down, just, putting combos on Kai Kara France. And Kai Kara was super tired. He gassed him out, and it's like, dude, Oh man, that was gangster. That was a gangster move by Moreno, if I've ever seen it. And I mean, it was a good performance by him. But then he fights Jussier Formiga, and this was on I think the Kevin Lee, what's his name, Charles Oliveira card. No fans, no nothing. I mean, close fight, very close fight actually. I really thought this was pretty close. I thought Moreno won the fight. Obviously, he had a lot of good moments on the ground with Jussier. Obviously, he had a lot of good moments where go for the takedown and then get straight to the strikes. That was the number one thing he did. He's so good at grappling situations and not getting tired if you miss a takedown, and he'll just get on you. He'll throw like 3 hooks at you, and he's very, very good at that. That's something I liked. I liked out of Moreno. But Jussier had his moments too. He had a really cool moment where Brandon was on top, right, and he was able to kind of sweep him and get his back. And I thought that was kind of a cool little moment Jussier had, and I thought it was cool. But Moreno ended up winning the 3rd round. He just started lighting him up a little bit and started getting Formiga's timing, and he kind of figured him out that way and got a lot of good counters out the way and was able to kind of blast Formiga's face. But it is what it is. And then he fought Brandon Royval, probably one of the happiest moments I've ever been as a Moreno fan. This Royval kid, I mean, yeah, he beats Tim Elliott, and I think he beats Kai Kara France, and everyone talking, doing that talk, right? And then fucking Moreno goes out there. And it's crazy. On this card, we'll talk more about this card, 255, right? Perez gets the title shot over Moreno. I thought Moreno has deserved the title shot over Perez, a guy that got finished by Joseph Benavidez, right? But they give it to Perez because he finished Jussier Formiga after Brandon beat him, right? It's just bullshit, right? Then they put Brandon Royval versus Moreno on the same card. And I'm like, he's on the same card. He's out of everybody in that whole division, most deserving flyweight contender, and you just do this to him. And you can see there was a point to be proven, and Royval he fights like a complete idiot. He has a very weird, funky style, and yeah, he does win. I will give him that. He does win, but I mean, fuck, man. I enjoyed every second of him crying after he had his shit out of place, his shoulder out of the socket. So I was so happy when Royval went out, and Moreno. I think Moreno was just gonna beat the shit out this kid. Whatever. The injury, it probably saved Royval, but man, Moreno started taking him down. He started taking his back from a standing position in the octagon, and then just put brutal ground and pound on him and just sent him back home crying at Denver and let him know, like, hey, kiddo, relax. You got to wait in the back of the line. It's my time. And, he ended up getting his title shot. He got his title shot against Deiveson Figueiredo. And in this moment of the video, I'm really going to only focus on what Moreno did good. And then when we start talking about Figueiredo, we'll talk about what he accomplished in that fight. But in this fight, I mean, Moreno, he did all right in the first round. I gave the first round to Figueiredo. But he did all right, actually. He did all right. I didn't think he did that bad. And the second round. So the second round is the really big debate, because Daniel Cormier on commentary actually said Brandon won that round. He had 2 really good, well-timed takedowns and very, very, very close, right? But as much as I like my boy DC, let's stand up, aka, he didn't win that round. He did not win that round. But it was very, very close. And I'm a big guy, and this is a topic I actually want to, if you guys want to put your input in the comments, right? I come from a wrestling background. DC comes from a wrestling background, right? So I think I know why DC said what he said. In wrestling, you get, let's say, a takedown is 2 points, right? You get 2, that's 4 points, right? So I guess in DC's head, he's looking at the takedowns, and I guess he thought some of the striking exchanges were kind of close, and he thought the takedowns edged it, right? My humble opinion, I didn't think those striking exchanges were that close between Moreno and Figueiredo, if I'm being honest. In the commentary, I mean, I don't think I listened to commentary when I watched this fight. So I was shocked how much they loved Moreno, and I like Moreno too, so I don't have a problem with it. But I remember even watching it the first time, I thought Moreno, I thought he won that round actually. The first time I watched it, the second, right? But then I watched it again, and I'm like, he didn't win that round, you know. I'm starting to actually think Figgy won the first fight when I rewatched this fight. It was a great fight though, great fight. I gave Figgy that round, you know, and even though he had 2 great takedowns, it was phenomenal. Then the third round comes, right? And oh yeah, I forgot my point. So I was gonna ask you guys, what do you guys think about, you know, getting takedowns, right? And if you get a takedown and somebody gets right back up, right? Do you give anybody credit for it, or are you one of those guys that you need to see takedowns and in control? You need to see a lot of control. So it's like, could somebody get, like, let's say somebody gets 4 takedowns in 1 round, right? And the other person gets a takedown in 1 round, but controls a person for most of the round, but the other person that got 4 didn't really control him like that. Which one do you feel? I actually want to ask you guys that. And if you guys make it this far in the video, give me your input on that. I think it's actually interesting to see how we judge rounds. But going forward in the third round, I thought both guys looked good, right? Both guys. I mean, Moreno hit this, and here's the thing about Figgy. He showed a lot of holes. You know, after Moreno kind of overcame the power difference, I think, and was kind of able to start moving his head and just, you know, figure out Figgy's combinations, because Figgy was throwing a lot of combinations that were touching him. But when he started to figure them out, he started to move his head and use his jab, and he was, you know, using his lateral movement and moving and using his footwork, and he was just jabbing him, and he was making Figgy eat his punches, right? And Figgy ate some, but Figgy also had some success in that round. But then Figgy got dirty. He got dirty, y'all. I like Figueiredo a lot, but that was dirty. Obviously I don't think he did it on purpose, but that was dirty. That was a bad move by Figgy. He hit him in the goddamn nuts, man. That was fucked up. Moreno was coughing like crazy, you know. But I mean, it is what it is at the end of the day. Like, I can't be too mad at it, but I mean, that was dirty. And I think Moreno might have got an extra takedown in that third too. I might be wrong, but he might have got a takedown in that third. But it is what it is. And then in the fourth round, right, that's when Moreno he won this round. Some people scored 10-8, and I think Figgy did some good things. Like, he had some moments in this round, but, like, I mean, yeah, like, it is what it is, you know. Like, oh man, Moreno just, again, Figgy's defense kind of got exposed here. He keeps his hands really, really low, and the jab was on point. And then he started really unloading combinations on Figgy. And this is a thing that's kind of plagued Figgy in his career, is his gas tank, right? And his gas tank kind of got a little exposed in this fight. And I mean, he got lit up, man. He got lit up. He got hit, and he was drunk, y'all. He was drinking that Henny, and he was moving drunk. And he even got taken down at the end of this round. And, you know, and I think, yeah, we'll talk more about it, but he got taken down. But I mean, Moreno was coming on, and he was doing his thing. And wrestling in the gas tank is going to be a really big thing for Moreno to really win this fight. But I mean, that was a sensational round by him, and you know, it is what it is. And then in that fifth round, right? Moreno didn't really do much. I felt like that was Figgy's round. So I thought, here's how I kind of scored it at first when I first watched it, right? I'm trying to think, did Figgy even... I don't think Moreno did anything in that fifth. Anything really crazy. I think that was Figgy's round. It was really Moreno in the fourth did his thing. But the way I scored it the first time, I remember I did score a draw. But I thought that first round, were they going to give it to to Moreno because he got kicked in the nuts, right? Because he got the, it was a 1 point disqualification. Not disqualification. He took a point. The ref took a point. So I thought they might have gave it to Moreno. but they didn't. It was 9-9. So I thought that was kind of interesting. But man, the way I scored it was really crazy. Like I look back and I was like, God damn, how did I see it that way? But it is what it is. I look back at it. I was like, it was a really close fight, a badass fight. But I kind of thought Figgy won the first fight looking back at it. But Moreno, he still can win this fight. Like, he really can. Like, there are the keys to victories. But if we look at a guy like Deiveson Figueiredo, oh man, God of War. And again, I will talk about this. We look at the Jussier for me. Like I said, there are ways for Moreno to win this, and really it comes from this fight, man. Jussier Formiga fought him in a phenomenal game plan. He was very defensively sound, right, in the striking, and he threw some of his own strike, threw a jab, threw a 1-2, stick to the basics, and timed his takedowns well without wasting energy. They were well-timed takedowns. When you get a good takedown, you get a good takedown. You get a good double, you get a good double leg, right? It's nothing bad. If it's well-timed, if there's like a bad transition, if there's like somebody throwing a kick and you get it, right? And Jussier was able to take him down, 2 times, I feel like. And then the single leg, he got the single leg and he did not let go. He was on him, and he control and wrestling, and to act like Moreno doesn't have that, it's like, it's this crazy talk, right? But like you can't deny this fight. It exists. I don't think it was an off day too. Like, I know a lot of people said it was an off day. I think he had a full camp for this. So Moreno, there is a way to beat Figgy. There is a way. And I think Moreno is damn near the only guy in that division. Maybe Royval is a punk, so you can't expect him to do it. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm trying to think. Like, oh yeah, Oscar Askarov, he can do it. I think him and Moreno are the only guys that can really beat him in this division. And then he fights Tim Elliott, man. And I mean, this was quick. He choked him the F out. And Tim Elliott's a good grappler. He's not a guy that kind of gets submitted easily. You have to be really good to beat him. And sadly, Royval did submit him too. So I have to admit, Royval is a good fighter. I think he's a good fighter. But I thought some of y'all kind of like was doing too much talking about the kid, like he was like the next GOAT, right? And then Deiveson fought Joseph Benavidez in the first fight. And this is where this was a clutch moment. I ended up picking Deiveson, but I was so retarded. I ended up picking Joseph in the rematch. But in the first fight, Deiveson took him down. He took him down, and he defended takedowns. Like, Deiveson looked like a I think the reason why people call him a bantamweight is because he was near Joseph Benavidez. I think Joseph Benavidez is just a small man. I think that's all it really comes down to. Like, a lot of these guys are short, but Joseph is a really, really small dude. That's what I think it is. But and I mean, sorry, someone got in my eye. Joseph went for takedowns. He was able to, Deiveson was able to stuff it. He had a lot of good takedown defense. Now, Joseph did have some success in there. He was able to touch Deiveson. Again, Davison's defense, he does it to himself all the time. He kind of goes in the fire. Now, he has a good chin, so he can take it. But, like, you can't keep doing that, Guys will take advantage of that, and they will time you. And some guy will catch you one day. And Joseph doesn't have enough power to do anything about it. And you saw right in the second round, Deiveson walks him down and just basically is like, he has that bazooka ready. And it's like, dude, it's some sick shit. He just touched his chin and he went down. Like, it is so sick how he killed. I thought that knockout over Joseph was so brutal. The first fight was brutal, y'all. And then the second fight, like, the fact that he was able to top that in terms of brutality and violence, I mean, and I'm so retarded. Like, everyone was picking Joseph in the first fight. I picked Figgy, and then I just do myself a disservice and think Joseph could do something. And my problem is I kind of look too much into the Formiga fight, right? The Formiga fight, the grappling, and I was thinking, man, if Joseph can just survive the first 2 rounds, he got a chance, right? I mean, he knocked him down, I think, 3 times. And this is the definition of a 10-7 round. There was nothing competitive that Joseph done. Like, I'm all respect to Joseph, by the way. No disrespect to the guy. And I've said some things that are kind of mean on my Twitter. about Joseph, and I do apologize for that. I will apologize because he is a fighter, and and some people are kind of getting mad at me because of my sense of humor sometimes. So don't take too much of what I say too seriously. This is I'm just playing around here. But Joseph, he got mutilated. Like there's no other way to say this is like he got his cherry popped. God damn near like he got violated. He got misused. Someone shouldn't even have booked this fight. They should have turned off the lights because this is borderline. Like it was wrong. Like he got like, and then like that third knockdown he got on him, and then the ground and pound, and then damn near it looked like Deiveson tried to headbutt him again. Because you remember there was that big thing about the headbutt right in the first fight, which was crazy that Joseph was trying to bring that up. And I mean, I'm sorry, like that's not right. And then he choked him the fuck out, man. This was Joseph. I mean, this is what R. Kelly's victims went through, and Joseph can relate with them because Joseph got done dirty. Got choked the fuck out. And this is how you know I'm right. This is because Joseph is a rape victim right here. They woke him up. Now there is a video. I think my boy Tito Cray. If you go look at his Twitter, you can probably find it. There's a video of Joseph right when they wake him up after he got finished by Deiveson, and he's screaming, like he's thinking about his his former rapist or something like that. Like, yo, he got done so dirty, y'all. I've never seen no man get treated like that. Never in my life have I ever seen him. I probably have, but wow. And then, I mean, this is when the Figgy hype got out of control, because then Figgy, I mean, had a world-class performance against Alex Perez. A guy, I did a breakdown on this fight. Obviously, I picked Figgy, I think third round TKO. I mean, a world-class performance. Obviously, there's some people accusing him of cheating, of holding the fence. Alex Perez is a tough guy, and he got done dirty. Like, honestly, y'all, he got done so dirty in this fight. He got submitted like a nobody. And I don't know, like, that was just nuts to me. That was so crazy how Perez, I mean, he got submitted like he was nobody. Like, I was shocked. I was like this. And this is when the Figgy hype got out of control. And then we lead in 2 week notice, right? A fight basically gets booked right after Figgy beats Alex Perez. Him versus Moreno. After Moreno beat Royval. So Figgy versus Moreno, UFC 256, the next main event for the title, right? After what Figgy did to Perez, right? I mean, the hype was out of control. Everybody wrote him off. Except one guy. My boy Fight Game Pro. My boy Fight Game Pro actually picked Brandon Moreno. Just wanted to shout the homie out there. But yeah, I mean, this fight with Brandon, Figgy did a lot of things really, really good. Pantoja was able to do it to Brandon, but a lot of people can't say they did this to Brandon. But then he had moments where, like I said, the defense wasn't looking too good, right? But in the first round, obviously, I said before that Brandon actually didn't do too bad in this round. But yeah, man, Figgy, I mean, he landed the heavier shots, then landed a really, really big head kick near the end of that round. I thought he looked good there. And in the second round, he took that round, dude. I'm sorry, DC. I'm sorry, dude. The combinations he landed on Moreno. And the silence that was coming out of Rogan. Like, come on now. They weren't saying nothing. Like, this guy was hitting the body. He would throw two shots to the body, then end it with a lead hook. And then he would do it again. Now, Moreno did move his head out the way at that last one. But, like, dude, he was just lighting him up. Like, he had so many moments where he was lighting him up, y'all. So many moments. And then in the third round, obviously, the nonsense, right? He ended up, I didn't like what he did. But even in that, he was hurting Moreno. And I thought that was more of a back and forth. I thought Moreno had a moment there too. Dude, like dude, the way he was walking him down, and he would end like every time he had Moreno against the cage, and Moreno would try to exit or try to like kind of pivot out of the way and get into like, you know, because he is like moving. He's on his bicycle basically for the whole fight. He's against the cage, but he doesn't want to be on the cage too much. So he tries to pivot. Then he would try to like anytime he would try to change the angle, Figgy would just cut him off with like an elbow. You know, I was like, yo, this kid's out of control, right? And then even in the third round, Figgy got his own takedown. It was like the only takedown. I think it was like. It's a lot of takedowns from Moreno, though. I will say that. And Figgy tried to take him down. He wasn't able to. And then obviously in that fourth round, I mean, he had a good moment in that fourth round where he hit him. He threw like a really heavy combination after he got hurt. But Moreno was able to take him down right after. So it's like, I can't really give him credit for that. I thought Moreno won that fourth round. And then in the fifth round, I thought she showed his championship caliber mentality and attacked with those head kicks, body kicks. He just threw him. He was gunning him. And it wasn't a lot for Moreno in that fifth round. The fifth round was kind of dull, but then, you know, I thought Figgy kind of ended it well. He got the inside trip. Or it was more like a lateral drop. Like, it was like a lateral, like, trip drop, right? He gets that takedown, then ends it with some really good ground and pound, and I thought Figgy won the fifth round. Right? So, basically, obviously, the first fight's out of the way. They scored it a draw. I thought that was the right thing to do. Looking back at it, but I mean, this fight was nuts, y'all. This fight was amazing. It's a really, really hard fight to break down because here's how I look at it. For Moreno, I think he has a lot of tools and he has a lot of abilities to win this fight. Figgy, defensively, and here's the thing. Obviously, you can say, all right, Figgy took that on 2 weeks' notice, right? So maybe he wasn't in the best mind. But like, here's the facts. Moreno does have a reach advantage. That does exist. Moreno does have the wrestling advantage. That does exist. Figgy did lose in the wrestling to Formiga, right? So that did happen. He did gas out, right? He didn't. I wouldn't say he gassed out. I'm not gonna say. I don't know if he gasses out, but he's more susceptible to getting taken down, right? We'll just say that. I'm not gonna say he gassed out. I know some people get really mad when you say that about Figgy, but here's the facts. Moreno, if he can use his jab, if he can take advantage of Figgy's, you know, lack of defense, right, and jab him up and then get well-timed takedowns, he can replicate a Formiga performance over 5 rounds. Now, that's harder. That's easier said than done, right? Doing that over for 5 rounds against a guy with power like Figgy, that's hard. But that's one way I can really see him doing it. Like, honestly, or he could get a late finish over Figgy. But and that's the only way I can really say. It's just his wrestling and his jab, right? And his lateral movement. And the number one thing for Moreno, if I was to give him some advice, he has to get his back off the cage. Because then when Figgy sees him against the cage, he unloads, right? So he has to work on that and just cutting, I wouldn't say cutting, but using his angles more and trying to go for it. Because when he went forward on a tired Figgy, by the way, he had success in that fourth round. And that's one way I can see Moreno winning. But Figueiredo, I think Figueiredo, what he did the first time, he got to a decision, right? But I think, obviously, he took it on 2 weeks. So I think now he has a full camp. His cardio should be better, right? And his takedown defense should be a lot better. Figgy, to me, seems like the stronger guy out of the two, but I don't think he's the better technical wrestler than Moreno. Moreno might be the better grappler out of the two. I think Figgy's really, really good on the ground, but Moreno might be the better grappler out of the two. On the feet, I would say Figgy has the advantage. Even on a technical sense, the way Figgy throws combos, the way he attacks the body, Moreno has longer arms, so I think that's what makes him a problem for Figgy, and I think that's how Figgy kind of struggles with him a little bit. But I think Figgy's actually better on the feet overall, like just completely. Moreno just has that jab and has the longer arms to keep distance, but the way Figgy was able to kind of cut through that and attack combos earlier, like in the first 2 rounds, that was phenomenal. But one thing I feel like Figgy should implement in this fight is the leg kicks. He had some success with his kicking game. Honestly, Moreno's super. He's very heavy on that lead leg. Sorry for the interruption. You already know this computer be tripping. But like I said, I feel like Figgy, he should take advantage of that. His of him kind of almost being too much of a boxer sometimes. Like, obviously, Moreno does throw head kicks. I'm not saying that, but he's very, very heavy on that lead leg. So he should attack that lead leg. And I think that's one way I can see Figgy really winning. And really just being, like, choosing your moments, right? You don't have to always be in the pocket with this kid. You know, I think he had a lot of success in the pocket, and he just had no respect for Moreno. I think he's going to go in this fight with a lot more respect and choose his moments wisely. And if he does that, like, if you take maybe half of the exchanges that he took in that first fight, like, he won most of those exchanges in the pocket. When he did unnecessary exchanges of going forward, that's when he started getting caught, because Moreno started making reads. He started figuring out, oh, this guy doesn't, like, all he does is move his head, but he doesn't keep his hands up, right? So he started tagging him, and that's basically what it comes down for Figueiredo's. Does he have almost the fight IQ to kind of just lay it off? Like, he has, I feel like he should try to win this fight. Moreno's he's too tough of an opponent to really finish. I think he should just win it by decision, and I think he can do it. I think he has the better kicks. I think he'll have better takedown defense. Let Moreno get tired going for takedowns, and that was something Pantoja was able to expose, was that he's very susceptible to getting kicked in the leg, and I think Figueiredo will have a lot of success with doing that. In the grappling, I don't know, but I think if Figgy picks his moments in the pocket, I think he'll win. He'll win the fight. So I'm gonna take Figgy by decision. I think it's gonna be a closeout. And usually, another reason why I'm going with Figgy, when you see rematches like this after a close fight and then they run it back, I mean, sometimes it doesn't end up being close. You know, you look at Alexander Gustafsson. The first fight with John Jones was crazy, right? And the second fight's just a blowout, right? So, you know, rematches are hard to predict sometimes. Can Moreno win this? Yes, he can. I'm not taking nothing away from the kid. He can win this. But I think Figgy had more of an off night, and I think Moreno had his best night. And I think if they're both on their best nights, I think Figgy should win it 9 times out of 10. Nothing against Moreno. Actually, I shouldn't say 9 times out of 10. I would say 6 out of 10. I'll say that. But I think Moreno does have a chance with the wrestling. But that's about it. And the jab, kind of. But I just feel like even the jab, like, the way Moreno would just get caught up in the cage and just take punches like a punching bag is insane. And it's not like Moreno has a lot of pop to his punches. Obviously, you know, he has power. But, like, you know, it was the way he hurt him was more of accumulation of damage. He doesn't have a lot of pop. So I say this goes to the scorecards. I think Deiveson wins this, maybe 3-2 or 4-1. I think Deiveson should win this fight, but it is what it is. Hope you guys enjoyed the breakdown. But yeah, man, follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitter. Also, if you're new, subscribe. Let's get this eBay Fight Prediction Nation growing. Go click that notification button, like, comment, do all that cool stuff. Share this video, and it is what it is. It's your boy eBay, and I'm out of here.
How you feel, champion? How you feel?
I feel great.
Great.
Yeah.
This is the call. What's gonna happen with the assassin baby?
Assassin baby, motherfucker. I'm going to knock you out.
Beware, you call him a liar. You remember? You call him a liar. Ele chamou de mentiroso, que tu não estava machucado. Now you're gonna see.
Look at me, motherfucker. Look at me. I feel great.
The assassin baby. I feel sorry for you.